Good. Well, I'm really fortunate to be interviewing Karen Knight. Karen, isn't that lovely that we count each other as friends?
Indeed.
Yes.
Thank you for
Karen, tell me about your journey. What are you doing right now? You're the CEO of a company you own?
I am. I've got quite a full life.
Yes, I can see that.
And I've got the most fantastic friends. I love my friends, so I'm quite social. I've been with my partner Nikki for over 20 years now. She's an institution in the LBGT.
Oh, is that right? The two of you?
We're quite well connected and quite social.
Yes, understood.
So Nikki is the head of HR at Southern Cross Hospital.
So it's all of her contacts?
Yes,
and then all of your contacts?
That's right, yes.
Right.
So my main job, one of my hats is MD at Crash Management. We provide a specialist service in the general fleet management environment.
What do you do? What does Crash Management do? Make sure cars don't crash?
There are some prevention products and services in the broader offering, but our core service is, unfortunately, a 24/7 response to motor vehicle accidents, primarily for fleets, but we have lots of.
So how's that different from the police or St John's Ambulance or the Westpac helicopter?
Oh, we do link with them
Right.
if we need emergency services. Ours is a 24/7 0800 line, and so the offering is a lot more broader than that. So it's end-to-end emergency services, claims, assessing, facilitation, repair management, etc.
Is that a man's world that you're talking about?
Well, the automotive sector generally is, historically probably has been, but that's my background, so I'm comfortable there. I was a panel beater in my very young days.
So here we go. You were a panel beater in your very young days, and that must have been a profession that no woman undertook at that time.
It was perhaps less common.
How
There were a
many
few.
female panel beaters do I know? Zero.
There would be a handful in New Zealand, probably. Yeah,
Right.
certainly more automotive painters and many more mechanics.
So were you amongst the first?
Oh, probably.
Right.
Probably.
So you've always been a pioneer and a trailblazer?
Just sort of grew up in that environment, really.
Right.
So I had a very ordinary upbringing in 60s semi-rural Auckland environment, and was quite outdoorsy as kids were in those days, a little bit tomboyish, and that wasn't particularly notable at that time.
Right.
But I just had a general interest in cars and sort of grew from there, really.
So tell me about your journey from there to here. I mean, you've been tremendously successful, and you're now well established. But it hasn't always been so easy.
Oh, life's a long, winding road, isn't it?
It is
Really.
really.
So
Lots of things happen
lots
to
of
you.
things have happened on the way. But no, look, I haven't had any particular difficulties, but certainly perhaps some ups and downs and some modest successes. So that was my background really in automotive, collision repair, panel beating. I started with a business partner, my first business, when I was about 22,
Goodness.
and we grew that to be the biggest collision repair facility in New Zealand over about 10 years, and I sold that when I was about 40. So just a little while ago now. But
So you're very entrepreneurial.
I've always worked for myself in small business, so that's my background, which can be quite isolating in some ways, and so I've always made a conscious effort to extend networks outside the sector and outside of my business environment, and hence my strong links to Rainbow Auckland. I've been a member there.
So tell me about Rainbow Auckland, and when did you start your involvement with Rainbow Auckland?
Rainbow Auckland goes back a long, long time, and that's just a recent branding change as well. It grew out of the Gay Auckland Business Association, which evolved very shortly after the Homosexual Law Reform Bill was passed in 1986.
And you were allowed to. You
And we were allowed to be.
That's right.
Public.
So lots changed in that time.
An awful lot's changed in
To
that
think
time.
that we had to
absolutely.
change the law so it wasn't illegal, Amazing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
It is a
when
long
you-
time ago now, though. You
Yeah.
think that it's 40 years ago.
So it is a long time. So reflect on that journey for you. To be, to go from an illegal status to having that recognised in Parliament that it wasn't illegal anymore.
Oh, look, my personal journey has been really without issue. It's been very, very easy for me. But I'd have to acknowledge people of an older generation, but even now as well, youth still struggle often are marginalised. You wonder why these days, but particularly if they're isolated in the regions or disadvantaged in other ways. You wonder why that had to be the case though, and that's why there are so many social organisations that have been set up over time.
So what's special about Rainbow to address these issues and your involvement in Rainbow? What do you do
Rainbow
there?
Auckland?
Yeah.
It came out of the Gay Auckland Business Association. So Rainbow Auckland we had a brand relaunch about a year ago because there was a perception that it was for business people only, and even professional people didn't realise that they were very welcome. So we broadened the appeal, hopefully, to be more inclusive, and of course we always have been. It initially was set up as a social and business networking forum for predominantly gay men, but certainly was very welcoming of women, and we have lots of wonderful female members now. And that's grown over time to be more broadly based in terms of education, lobbying. Rainbow Auckland has some fantastic initiatives and does great work. Nikki Kay came to us about 5 years ago and said, why is there no Pride parade or festival?
Right.
So with her help we were able to launch that.
Oh,
and
wow.
a completely separate board that operates Pride.
It's
huge. That's big stuff, and that's that will be the big high-profile work that the mainstream will see.
Right.
Because it's great fun, of course,
Yeah.
and we are the most fabulous side.
Yes.
But behind the scenes, we certainly do fundraising, and that's the Gabba Trust, which I serve on the board of the.
Right. And what do you fundraise for?
We fundraise for Pride still, ironically.
Okay.
Lots of these social organisations that do great work behind the scenes, like Rainbow Youth, Outline, who tend to work with the most marginalised people in the most difficult circumstances. But we also, my particular favourite project is our tertiary scholarship program for our high-achieving high school kids going into their first year of university. And I love it because the calibre of applications and the volume of applications over time it's just phenomenal, and it's actually quite humbling.
So let's talk about the
these kids.
transformation, because really, I mean, formally diversity is a really small platform, right? Generally people are just talking about straight women. We need to get straight women, mainly Anglo-Saxon women onto boards. That seems to be mainly what diversity is. But
Which is a valid point.
Well,
But it's not the only point.
But it's not the only point. It's a small part, really,
Of course.
of the real lived experience. So how's it changed over time? Have you seen that transform in your lifetime? Just
The acceptance of the gay community specifically,
or that's right.
the business environment. Well, I mean, we do see change over time, of course. Everything evolves, and for the better, fortunately, in New Zealand. Which is not to say that it couldn't do better, and of course we're always pushing those boundaries, and that's why the Super Diverse Woman is so important as well.
Great.
So I commend the work
Well,
that we've done there.
it's
It is all
wonderful.
about visibility.
Yes.
I agree with that.
Well, talk to me about why you think visibility is important.
I guess because people tend to operate in their own spheres, perhaps not intentionally, but they see what they see, and they don't necessarily see other sectors of New Zealand society, particularly in the diverse space. So the more that we can bring that to them in a non-threatening way, particularly at the corporate level, because I do think they are the vanguard of change, particularly in employment. And there's some really positive things happening in that space with the Rainbow Tick program that you might be aware of. So I think that the profile that you bring to Super Diverse Woman, of course, and your connections, I think has been invaluable to the work that you've been doing.
Well, it's been interesting because, when you think about the journey that some, LGBTI women have had, it's really pretty similar to the journey that some super diverse women have.
Quite
visually different.
Quite likely.
Well, I suppose you can choose to be either visually the same or visually different. But some LGBTI, choose to or are just very visually different.
Absolutely, yes.
And it's hard for them.
If I really, really wanted to pass for straight, I probably could. I certainly don't have any pretense within my business or with clients or alliance partners. It's just not a question for me. Pronoun of my gender of my partner is always she, not he, and you could very easily make it he, and people do, unfortunately. But look, from my personal perspective, I certainly don't have any difficulties, and I don't for a minute underestimate the fact that some people do, whether that's because they, perhaps a confidence or a support issue for them or past life experiences, I don't know. So I do count myself lucky. Very few problematic areas of my life, really, I have to say. But I do see it, particularly
You must
with
in the work you do.
with you, absolutely.
Yes, I see
And
that.
of course our gay youth suicide is statistically is horrible anyway in New Zealand,
That's
and gay youth make up a very disproportionate part of that, so
Yeah.
it's quite tragic still.
No, understood. So tell me about Auckland. I mean, Auckland, of course, is quite different from the rest of New Zealand in terms of its university status.
Yes.
I mean, how do you find it living here?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
I've only ever lived in Auckland, but I have travelled a lot internationally, particularly when I was younger. It's a great city. From your office, it's gorgeous.
It is stunning.
It's friendly, it's relaxed, it's easy to get around, it's easy to get out of the city.
And it's also becoming much more diverse over time.
Absolutely it is, yes, and it makes it's very cosmopolitan. In fact, compared to any big city in the world, I think,
So
which
tell
makes
me-
it a lot more interesting.
Yes, no, I agree. But some people don't necessarily like the diversity. But I was just thinking that we are now also getting a recognition that there's a lot more women out there who are LGBTI and who are also ethnically diverse. And I mean, what do you think is happening in that space? Because obviously, New Zealand is now, quite significally full of people from different ethnicities.
Absolutely.
In
Yes.
that space. And
Yes.
of course, different cultures deal with, sexual orientation in a really different way.
Yeah, indeed, and yes, some of it's not ideal.
No,
But
some of it's not.
look, within Rainbow Auckland, we certainly see a wide cross section of the community, and it's not, of course, one homogenous group. There are lots of sectors within sectors, and certainly ethnicity plays a part of that. But we have, and there are lots of other groups in New Zealand that represent different sectors, but we all come together for different reasons. There's the gay Asian group, for instance.
So
There's
do you have
Alba.
that's interesting.
There's a lesbian only organisation called Alba.
That's interesting.
But it's just personal preference really, and they're all interested really in the drivers. But we certainly have lots of commonality, and we all come together for big occasions, particularly Pride, for instance.
Well,
It's
Pride
very
seems
nice.
to bring you all together. Yeah,
Indeed,
no,
it
absolutely.
does.
So what do you think Super Diverse Women can do to assist?
I think the work that you've already started doing is certainly the way forward, and it's all about visibility, and it's giving diverse women a voice and giving them some profile, and of course you've started doing that with the online exposure and also the events that you're starting to run.
There's so many fabulous diverse women.
There are.
And people don't know that.
No, that's right.
And they overlook them.
And most of them are my friends.
Yeah, and they underestimate them, and I'm just thinking, well, why aren't these stories being told?
Yes.
Otherwise, we just get the same old,
Yes.
all the time.
Yes,
You know,
indeed.
and I just,
Yes.
you and I are we love the same old, but there's a lot of other women out there.
Absolutely. Yes.
Right. So that's what we need to be doing together.
Yes,
Good.
Absolutely, no, we
Well,
support that,
well,
and
good.
I've met some of your members already, and
Yeah, no,
we've
that's
had
great.
some
Yeah, good
pleasant
interchange.
times.
Yes, no, that's
indeed.
excellent. Thank you very much.
Good.
Thanks,
Okay.